Well, just a minute ago, I was outside in our garden and, taking care of the grass and the flowers. And while I was digging in and getting my hands dirty and, connecting with nature, it felt just so good. And I'm sure you remember that feeling, right? Where you do things on a physical level, you connect with nature, and it just feels, you feel so connected. And life is simple, right? And I had this realization how this totally applies to the upcoming webinar that I'm teaching in a couple of days about spontaneous remissions and the art and science of self-healing. Because think about it, isn't simplicity, what we all want? Isn't simplicity and the clear-cut understanding of how our body works, how maybe even spontaneous remissions are possible, how self-healing is possible? Wouldn't it be wonderful if that would be the truth? Think about it. Also consider how you would shift for you personally with your own health issues, how much more safe and secure you would feel if you would know that actually your body is trying to heal itself constantly. It's not trying to do something wrong. It's just a healing process that we go through. How, as a health professional, no matter if you're in traditional, complementary, alternative medicine or therapies or health coaching, nutrition coaching, how would you treat your patients differently? How would your approach be differently? I believe completely, because think about it. If you would know that all the symptoms that we experience in our body, if it's mental, emotional, or physical, if they are actually part of an intelligent self-healing process, that these spontaneous remissions, right, which basically means that without traditional or approved kind of methods that we use, the body still heals by itself. And I'm going to go through this in the webinar, obviously, showing you what's the science, what does the current traditional medicine science say about spontaneous remissions, what do we know in terms of complementary alternative medicine, and what do we know in terms of meta health, which, as you know, is this art and science of self-healing. You're going to be surprised because you're going to realize how powerful that healing ability in your body really is. So make sure you sign up on this page on the metahealthuniversity.com/webinar page. There should be a link on this page. Sign up right now for this webinar because we're going to go through not just the science of spontaneous healings, spontaneous remissions, but also the art form. What does it require? Why do people heal and others don't? What's blocking that healing mechanism, if there is this healing mechanism, which we know there is? So sign up right now, and we will not just go through the art and science of that healing process, self-healing process in our body, but also use many examples. Because did you know that actually every single organ, specifically every single organ tissue in your body, goes through very specific symptoms while it's healing or when it's healing itself? And we know now by now very precisely what's blocking the healing. Why do the symptoms come back all the time, or why don't they disappear? So join me in the webinar Spontaneous Remissions. Sign up right now, and don't just sign up, okay? Make sure you commit to attending, because you're gonna get so much out of it for yourself, but especially as health professionals. Because the truth is that we need a new healthcare system. We all know that, right? I think everybody knows. But the question is, how do we achieve that? And one of the foundations that I'm 100% convinced is that we need to not work against the nature, our nature, how the nature intends our body or wants our body to heal, but help that process. And to do that, we need to know the art and science of self-healing. There is no other way around it. So in this webinar, at the end especially of the webinar, I will show you how you can study, how you can learn this art and science of self-healing and become a mental health specialist. So sign up right now. I'll see you very soon in the webinar. Be meta healthy.